Hi there, welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning subscribers, thank you for your continuous love and support. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please feel at home. If you like the content I'm putting forward on this channel, please subscribe, like, and share. If my content is not your cup of tea, that's okay. There's many other channels out there and I encourage you to visit them. Here on this channel, I encourage open dialogue. Share your thoughts, ideas, and comments. However, no insults. We don't have time for those. So let's get to it. As I'm doing my research on the different political parties in South Africa, I came across a video about the DA. And Helen Zile, who's the chairperson, shared her thoughts to the rally of DA supporters. And you know, Helen is no stranger to politics. She's had a vast background of experience. She was the Premier of Western Province as well as the Mayor of Cape Town. She was a very well-spoken individual who knew how to rally the troops, let's say. And I use the word troops because it was very interesting to see her metaphors as she used in the speech. Her intention in Johannesburg was to get people on track to definitely get out there and vote. And that's what a lot of political parties will be doing in the coming months. As she shared her thoughts, she compared the Blue Army, the DA, to the Yellow Army, the ANC, and then, of course, to enemy number one, the Red Army, the EFF. As she was comparing the Yellow Army and the Blue Army, she shared her thoughts that how many parties come and go, and she felt the ANC was going to disappear in her lifetime as well.
I've lived long enough to see the death of two huge parties that once were all powerful in South Africa. One was the United Party. Now, many of you may never have heard of the United Party. It was once a very powerful government under Prime Minister Jan Smuts. Do you remember him from history? Well, I was alive then. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Handikoki, I was here. And that almighty party that had the respect of the whole world, because they didn't organize properly internally, and because they did not know where their roots were, and because they could not default to principles, they unraveled and died while I was a journalist on the Rand Daily Mail writing about it. And then the National Party, it was almost like a one-party state, single-party domination. The DA's forerunner, the Progressive Party, had one public representative in the whole of South Africa. And I often wish Helen Zile could just look down and see us now. I wish she could just look down and see us now. We had one public representative in the whole of South Africa at that point. In kyk hoe lyk ons nou. But believe me, no one would ever have said in their wildest dreams that within my lifetime, the National Party would be gone. And it is. And let me make a prediction. Because the ANC doesn't know what it stands for anymore, because it can't revert to principles, because it hasn't got any, believe me, in my lifetime, I will see that party die too. But then the real battle begins between blue and red.
But when she got to speak about the Red Army versus the Blue Army, which is where she thinks it's going, she started to use some very vast differences. The Blue Army represents diversity and peace and inclusion, whereas the Red Army represents racism.
And remember the difference. Red is hate. Blue is reconciliation and love. Racism is red. Non-racialism is blue. Failed Marxist economics is red. Economic growth and a social market economy is blue. State control is red. Freedom is blue. breaking everything down and calling for the murder of people is red. Building up and bringing people together, the blue people, is blue. And if South Africa is to have any future at all, it is to be blue. All of you here, we look at as blue people. You may not look blue on the outside like I don't, I'm a pale shade of grey. But inside, your heart beats blue. And I often say, if you listen to your heart, all the blue people, you will hear
Racist. I thought that was a very interesting comparison on her part. Although we know this may not be everybody's perspective, this was hers. She went on to use the analogy of them going to war. They're going to go to war, and it was up to the Blue Army to come out and vote. And the analogy of the war kept coming up in her entire speech. She definitely had the rallying part of her troops in the room going and people applauding, and she had people on every word. But what I found interesting is a lot of the other political parties in South Africa are also using this metaphor of going to war. In fact, Julius Malema was quoted in a speech recently of how the DA is referring to them as enemy number one, that the EFF never thought of themselves as at war, but they'll use the analogy, and now he's using it as well. I guess in politics, anything is open for discussion, and going to war may be how they feel they're going. And it's a good way to rally the troops, as many wartime leaders and captains used on the war fields. However, I would hope that as we go through, the DA and ANC and other political parties will start to talk about their platforms a little bit more, where they're going to be putting their efforts towards if elected in 2024. I found it interesting in this coverage of the DA, of Helen sharing her thoughts, that she didn't really share too much of what was going to be happening for 2024, other than the fact it was at war. I encourage you to check out the video and give your thoughts on it. I'm interested to learn more about all the political parties, but I really didn't get a lot about what the platform for the DA was in this video. I will continue to do my research, but definitely please check out the video. I'll link it below, and let me know your thoughts, because again, we're here to learn together, educate and inform on the different platforms so that everybody is learning about what's going on in South Africa. I encourage you to take a minute, hit that notification button so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. And again, please drop a comment below, as long as there's no insults, because we don't tolerate insults here. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.